Welcome everyone, this is Zon with Repo Products. Today's video is on Bluebeam Revu 2016 and how to use some of the markup features within the software. Here I have a PDF file open, and if you go to the Markups tool up here in the command line, you'll notice that in the ribbon, the options for different markups are here. You can also see in the right side of your display, you have a markups toolbar as well with the same set of markups. In the markups list of commands, you have text, callout, typewriter, note, and flag. You have the pen, the highlighter, and the eraser. You have different ways to create lines, arrows, arcs, polylines, and dimensions. You also have different shape tools and sketch-based shape tools that apply to a scale. You have the ability to insert images or turn on your camera for your desktop, laptop, or tablet, and also to set up hyperlinks and attachments and stamps. So to get started on how to create basic markups, a good rule of thumb would be to zoom into an area that you want to work with to place the markup. Head over to the markups and pick a particular command. For example, text box. Start the command, then head over to the properties panel. In the properties panel, it will list all the property aspects of that particular markup you're about to create. Bluebeam remembers these settings, so if you don't check what these settings are prior to you creating the markups, it will create the markups with whatever settings you had saved last. For example, I can go over here under text color and change it to a color, say green. I can change the appearance of the color to say this orangey amber color. We can specify a fill color if we want to. How about a gray? We can even specify a line style, say -1, and also shapes as well. We can specify alignment and font styles, for example, italic, bold, underline, striking through, subscript, underscript. And once you have all of the property information set the way you want, you can click and hold and drag and then let go, and you'll make a text box. And in here you can start typing the data. For example, I can say review the window design in this area, and then click to finish. You'll also notice that the text markup that I created has a font size. You can see it says 10. I'm going to zoom in so it's a little easier to see. If I double click, I get back into the markup. I can highlight that information and I can make adjustments. Let's pick something that's a little easier to see instead of yellow. I'll shoot for red, and then I'll also increase the font size to 12 and make it larger. And when you're working with the text box command, as you go to draw it, you can also right click when you're finished making the test and the text, and it should auto size for you. Worst case, you can right click and auto size it so that it's smaller. You can use a callout markup, and that allows you to click and place the arrow, move your mouse, and then click to place the text description of the callout, and then type what you want. Again, don't forget, when you work with any markup, if you don't go to properties prior to you placing it, it's going to remember what the settings were from the last time you used the tool. And if you do select it, you should be able to change it after the fact. Other markup tools are the typewriter, which I don't know too many people who do use it, but it's the old school typewriter font. You have the note feature that allows you to click and place a little note tag, and in here you can put whatever you want. ID to check, floor finish. And if you hit this X, it'll close the note box, but it'll leave the little tag right there and I can move it wherever I want. If I click it again, it opens back up and I can continue to type more data. If I use the flag, it allows me to click and place a flag, and then I could put whatever I need. C, structural engineer. And then other tools, again, we have the pen. Start the command, go to the properties, specify all the information that you need, and when you draw using the pen, it's very similar to you using a stylus, and you can just drag and draw, and that's how it works. Now, if you use the pen feature over some text, you can actually draw as well, and that was actually pretty steady hands, but if you need to, you can hold the shift key down and it will draw perfectly horizontal or vertical. If you don't use the shift key, it'll just be freeform, and you just have to be very careful if you do it this way. You have the highlighter feature that allows you to highlight anything you want. If you have text, you can highlight the text and it reads the text to highlight it. Again, it does have property information. You can use the erase command to erase any markups that you've created. And then you have other tools such as the line command to draw a line, and it's 2 clicks or left click and drag. So I can click and it draws it, or click, hold the shift key down and then draw it perfectly vertical or horizontal. And if you go at a 45-degree angle and you hold the shift key down, it will hold it at a 45-degree angle. The arrow command allows you to click and place the arrow. The first click is the end of the tail of the arrow, and the second click is the head of the arrow. Again, all the property information about the arrow is here, and you can change the design prior to you creating the markup or after you've created it by selecting it. You can use the arc command to click and place and draw an arc. You can, when you use the arc command, you can use the alt command to pick 3 points, and the arc will be created by the 3 points. That's a little bit more forgiving than the default method. If I hold the shift key down and I try to draw, it will try to keep it orthogonal in X and Y. If I use the polyline command, I can just click a series of dots, and when I click back to the original, it's created, or I can click a series of them and double click at the end and it will finish the creation of that polyline. You may have to hit escape if necessary. The dimension command allows you to create the graphical appearance of a dimension. It's not actually measuring something, so you can actually type in here whatever you want. And when you're finished, you'll see it gets created. And then obviously you can move it as well. This is not actually a measurement, which we'll cover in another video. We have shapes. You can use the rectangle command, and again go to the properties and specify the color and the fill color and the line style if you want to. And you can draw the rectangle by left clicking and holding and then let go, or just click and then drag and click again. If you hold the shift key down when you do this, it makes a perfect square. You can do the ellipse as well. You can hold the shift key down when you do the ellipse to make a perfect circle. You can hold the alt key down to make a perfect circle from the center point of where you clicked. You have polygon, and that allows you to click anywhere you want, and when you get back to the original first click and finish it, you'll see that polygon is created. Now again, here I'm going to switch the fill color to this one, and I'll switch the line style to this one, so it's easier for you to see that particular shape that I created. You can use the cloud command to draw a cloud. You can also get into the property aspects and change the style of the cloud. Maybe it's zigzag instead, and I draw it as such. You can also use cloud with a callout, and so I can do a cloud callout and say verify. You have the ability to use sketches that are based upon a particular scale. So if I use polygon, then it's going to want to work with scale. And in order for you to do this, you actually have to go to the measure command and calibrate the data first and create a viewport for that particular measurement for scale-based. You have the ability to click image and attach any image that you want. And when you do this, it will ask you to specify the shape or the size of that image that you insert. And I'm just left clicking and holding and dragging. You can select it after the fact and move it, obviously. You can use the grips to readjust the size, either vertical, horizontal, or from the corners. And also, obviously, go to the properties of that image and make adjustments. You have the ability to crop any image that you need to as well. And then you have the ability to use this camera command. If your desktop, laptop, or tablet has a camera, it will turn on the camera and it will allow you to take a picture or a video if it's an iPad. Hyperlink allows you to click and place any hyperlink that you want. I'm going to do one example of hyperlinking because I'd like to reserve the hyperlinking command as a separate video because there's so much you can do with hyperlinking. So for example, if I want to create a hyperlink for, say, some text, I'll go to, let's go to this one. And if I do a rectangular area of this text, I can create that hyperlink button, if you will. That area is a button to tell it to go to several locations. For now, I'm going to have it go to a website and click OK. Once it's created, I can click that link and it will actually open up a web tab to that site. And again, I'll reserve a separate video for hyperlinking. Attachments allow you to click and pick any file and put a paperclip image. That paperclip image is the file attachment. And if I double click it, it will want to figure out what that file is and open it with any native application you have within your computer. And then lastly, you have stamps. You can pick from any of the pre-made ones that they give you and just click and drag, or you can make your own. And in order for you to make your own, you just create a PDF file and save it in the stamps subfolder location of the software. So this is a quick video on how to create and use the basic markup tools within Bluebeam Revu. Thank you for watching.